What's happening in LA right now is not normal. It's not normal. I don't care. I lived in California my whole life, and this shit is not normal, especially in the winter. How is it that every year we have a devastating fire and we still don't know how to fix the shit? And this affects all Californians, not just in Southern California. $18 million was cut from the LA Fire Department. $18 million that would diminish the ability to prepare for and respond to large-scale emergencies. That's not strange to nobody. And when the mayor was asked, did this budget cut affect the wildfires that is going on right now? She said, I'm confident that it did not. Confident? It's been 48 hours. What do you mean you're confident it did not? Like, I need an investigation done. Like, how do you know? How do you know? And this really hits home, even though I'm in Northern California. The city of Oakland, in which I reside, has done the same thing. Yep. Cut the budget.
Y'all, I am convinced that we have lost the fucking plot. We have lost the plot in life, because why am I seeing videos that says these are the celebrities that have lost their homes due to the wildfires in California? Respectfully to the celebrities, I could give a fuck. Like, because you have the means to go to another location. You have the means to move. Not only do you have the means, 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, you have a home in another location. I'm more concerned about the everyday people who do not have the means, the people who have put their all into their home for it all to be destroyed in the blink of an eye. Those are the people that I'm concerned about. The people that may end up being homeless due to this situation. The people who may not get paid. Insurance may not pay for their damage. Like, I'm concerned about those people. This celebrity worship is insane. I even saw on the news that said, oh, look at such and such. He's devastated as he's being escorted away. Keyword fucking escorted. Because the average person's not being escorted. They running for their goddamn life by themselves. So, like, let's be for real. Let's have some compassion, some empathy. Yes, I understand a home is a home and celebrities are suffering as well. However, the key focus should be on the people who do not have the luxury or the resources to move to the next location. I don't know why this has to be said.
As if it ain't enough shit going on in the world. Richmond ain't got no water. We ain't have water since Sunday. It is Thursday. People are using snow to put in their toilet tanks to flush their water. People are using the gym to take showers. The gym lines is around the corner. You can't go to any store and find water. There's people online charging $20 for a 12-pack case of water. And to make it worse, ain't got no fucking update to when the water's coming back on. And if you do have water, they're advising you to boil the water before you use it. We have no water and we have no idea when we're going to get water back. We about to have a water shortage in Virginia because everybody's going to get water from other cities using people's well water. What's the plan? I can't live like this. California got wildfires. We ain't got no water. They still fighting war across the country about, you know what? I'm gonna take my ass in. I'm done. I'm so done.
The city of Richmond, Virginia hasn't had water since Tuesday. Today is Friday. That has not made national news. The only reason I know is because of TikTok, because of a friend who told me so. Yes, I know we just got through Jimmy Carter's funeral. Yes, there are the wildfires raging through LA. Yes, we are also dealing with the potential ban of TikTok. But I think one of the reasons they want to get rid of TikTok is because we are sharing information in real time with each other immediately, and we have to hold them accountable, and they can control the narrative if they can control TikTok. This isn't some tinfoil conspiracy theory, everyone's out to get us type of thing. Like, it's literally true. Literally, I'm telling you that the city of Richmond has not had running water. No one has running water in their house. They cannot drink the water. They cannot use the water to take a shower. The person that I talked to has not taken a shower in 3 days.
guys, I feel like in the past couple of years, I've been getting hit with a lot of spam, especially in my text messages, whether it's a fake UPS delivery notification or someone trying to send me an invoice to get me to send them some money. I'm constantly getting spam sent to my phone. But now they're getting access to way more information, which makes it easier to scam people. However, I think I found the perfect solution to this. This video is sponsored by Aura. Aura is a digital security and identity theft protection service that offers a wide variety of features to help keep users safe online. Now, I want to talk about some of their features that stood out to me and are some of my favorites. So firstly, Aura offers data broker opt-out, where they will help to remove your personal information from data brokers and people's search sites that can sell your info to identity thieves, scammers, and more. This feature in particular will actually help to minimize some of those scam calls and texts that you might be getting. This is something that I definitely need. They also offer a password manager to help you store and access all of your passwords securely and conveniently across all of your apps. This is a feature that I definitely use because one thing that I realize is that all of your accounts should have different passwords, but I am not able to keep them all up here. So I need a password manager to help me with all of that. And lastly, one of my favorite features from Aura is their antivirus software, which helps to secure all of your devices from malware, including viruses, ransomware, spyware, trojans, and more. You can get all of these features and more all in one app at one affordable price. Don't leave yourself and your family members vulnerable to data breaches and brokers. Head to the link in my description or head to aura.com/lifewithbree to try Aura for 2 weeks for free. And now let's get back into this video. Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. Back another video. Before I get into this video, if you guys hear some noises in the background, my apologies. I know it sounds like rain in the background, so it just got done snowing, and I believe what's happening is the snow is melting outside my window. And so if you're hearing little like pitter patters outside, that's that. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much distraction from the video. My apologies about that. But anyway, in this video, I wanted to actually talk about what's been happening in the world, and well, in the world, more so in the United States. With just the climate and global warming and just all the things, right? 2025 has started out so intense already. There's been a lot of things happening in the news, and there's been a lot of attacks happening around the country, and now there's a lot of natural disasters and things that are happening, and it's crazy how, you know, how this year was starting, right? And I think everyone has been bracing themselves for 2025, right? Because, you know, last year, 2024 was rough for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people online talking about how rough 2024 was. I mean, 2024 was an incredibly difficult year for me, although, you know, it ended up getting better towards the end because I was able to land, you know, my dream job and my apartment. But even in the midst of that, there was still a lot of turmoil surrounding that, and just the entire year was just a mess. I feel like a lot of people around me as well were going through really intense things in their personal life. So 2024 was just rough. And so I feel like coming into 2025, people are a little bit more cautious to be like, oh, this year's gonna be my year, because clearly, you know, we don't know what's going on anymore, and it's getting crazy. And so, you know, I've been seeing the fires that have happened in California, more specifically in the Los Angeles area, and, you know, I've been trying to stay up to date, you know, with what's going on and how quickly the fires have been spreading and what particular areas it's been spreading to. And honestly, it's terrifying to see. Like, it's actually just it's scary, right? Seeing those images, seeing those videos. And, you know, I typically don't go out of my way to search these things up online, but because I am chronically online and I'm on Twitter a lot, you know, Twitter typically during these type of moments, they tend to have the very raw and authentic footage of what's happening. And so I've just been seeing things. I've also just been seeing a few of my mutuals that I follow who live in that area. I've seen some of them, you know, speak about the fires and how it's impacted them, or maybe it hasn't impacted them yet. I know a lot of people who haven't had to evacuate yet, but they're close in that evacuation evacuation zone. But I also want to make note as well, because I think some people don't realize that I typically don't film and edit and post on the same day. There's normally days in between from the time that I film to the time that the video goes out. So the things that I'm saying now are just, what it currently is at the moment that I'm filming this. There's a chance that by the time I put this video out, everything is fine. The fires are, gone. And so in case you guys are like, oh, well, the fires aren't even there anymore, please understand that these videos are, filmed in advance to when I post them. So, please extend me some grace for that, because I've seen people do that where I'll talk about a topic and I'll talk about the information that I have at the time of filming, and people will get upset that I don't have like the latest up-to-date info on it. And it's like, guys, I'm not posting in real time. But as it stands right now, like, I have seen a few people who have literally lost their homes, like even people who are not celebrities, because I feel like a lot of people are focusing on the celebrities, because apparently the areas that were mostly affected were some of the more rich, wealthier areas that a lot of celebrities live in, and a lot of people who have a lot of money tend to reside in those areas. And I feel like there's been a lot of focus on them, because those are primarily the people that live in those areas who ended up losing their homes. But I've also seen people too, like, again, like mutuals of mine who have been impacted by the fires or are very close to the fires, and it's just overall a very scary situation.
When 91-year-old Dale Short returned to his Pasadena home of 60 years, he found only rubble. It was a house we watched burn just hours earlier as the hurricane-force wind gusts made the fire unfightable. When you came back up here this morning, what went through your mind?
Well, I have to be honest with you, it really hasn't hit me all yet. I mean, I've got 60 years of memories in that house and 3 children.
Yeah.
Now it's hitting me.
Hey guys, welcome to my crib. Come over here. We can barbecue. Come over here. We could light a fire, but as you see, we already have one back here. Hungry? Grab an orange. And that's my crib. Thanks for coming.
A lot of people think about Pacific Palisades and they think it's millionaires and celebrities. And my building was, very hardworking people who were middle class. There were a lot of elderly in the building who were living on a fixed income.
You shared one detail in particular that really is on my heart tonight, that you lost something related to the son who you lost. If you're comfortable, could you share that with us?
Thank you. I've been going through IVF for the last 6 years, and I had finally gotten pregnant, and I should have given birth in November. And instead, I lost my baby at 17 weeks, my son, in June. I had lost my dog 2 days earlier. And the only thing I had were hand and footprints from the hospital and the card that all the doctors had signed. And I just remember walking out of my apartment, and I have a photo of my mom and my dog. And I looked at my mom and Preston, and I said, I hope to see you soon.
And it's just crazy. And of course, people are trying to figure out how this happened and why this happened. People who have lived in California for a while, I've seen people say like, oh, well, wildfires happen all the time. But although that may be true, same thing with, tornadoes and things. Like, if you're in an area where tornadoes happen, like a hurricane, when hurricane season comes around, there's just certain areas that typically always get affected, and the people that live there are, used to it. But clearly this was one of the more extreme fires, and I don't think that you can ignore the fact that in the past couple of years, a lot of these natural disasters have been getting way more intense. They've been happening way more frequently, and they've been way more scary. And I don't know if it's just a matter of, well, this is what happens in that area and it just was a matter of time before it got this bad, or if it's a reflection of the current global climate. We've been talking about climate change for years and how, the earth is literally dying. Like, there's so much going on with the earth right now, and these, the weather and the temperatures have just been very, very extreme and just not normal at all. And I don't know how people can actively ignore that still. Like, people are still in denial that global warming is a thing, that climate change is a thing, when it's literally science. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird to me. But even outside of just that, right, like, we can go back and forth about what caused the fire, if this fire was always just gonna happen. You can throw out different conspiracies in regards to that, right? But I think what has saddened me the most with a lot of these natural disasters is two things. One, the lack of empathy that people have had for others that are going through these natural disasters, rich or not, which I'll get into that. But also the lack of resources that a lot of these cities and towns and communities to, be equipped to handle these things happening, right? Like, I literally was seeing reports of, a lot of the fire departments in those areas not having enough resources to put out these fires. And although, again, like, these fires are intense, right? They're spanning, large amounts of land. So, there could be an argument to be made of, like, well, maybe they didn't anticipate a fire this big. But there's also been a conversation about funding, right? And how a lot of these fire departments didn't have the proper funding to have the proper resources to be able to combat something like this. And that in itself made me really angry. And, it was very off-putting to me. So as you guys can see right here, Fox News actually reported on this. They said the LA fire chief says city failed residents in wildfire prep, budget cuts screaming to be properly funded. And then, as you scroll down, they talk about how the city of Los Angeles failed. It's over 100,000 displaced residents. That's quite literally insane. Who were forced to evacuate, with the wildfires. And basically their fire department chief, Kristen Crowley, I believe, she said that the pressing staffing shortages impacted the department's response time when the blaze began tearing across Los Angeles. And she was quoted saying, any budget cut is going to impact our ability to provide service. She said that is a ground truth in regard to our ability. If there's a budget cut we had to pull from somewhere else, what does that mean? That doesn't get done, or that there are delays. So it's essentially being reported that, again, because of budget cuts, that they weren't able to combat these fires as quickly as possible. And so I definitely think there needs to be a conversation as well as to where a lot of our money is going towards, and what's being funded, and being able to better prepare for this sort of thing, right? Because it feels like every single time a town, a city, wherever, anytime they get hit with something serious like this, they have a really hard time recovering. And some cities and some towns don't recover at all, or it takes them years and years and years to recover due to, again, the lack of resources, the lack of support as well from the government, which is why leaning into community is so important. And I'm really happy to see so many businesses offering, free housing. Like, I saw Airbnb was offering free housing. I saw that there was a couple of restaurants offering free food, just offering free resources to help people that were displaced. And people can say what they want about, oh, they're doing it for PR, they're doing it to make themselves look good. My rule of thumb with that is, like, as long as people are benefiting from it and it's helping some people in some type of capacity, I don't care. I don't care if it's for publicity. I don't care if it's for PR. I don't care if they're doing it to make themselves look better. Whatever. As long as people that need food are getting food and people who need shelter are getting shelter, I could care less what the reason is. Same thing with companies who donate an insane amount of money to a charity. It's like, oh, they're doing it for PR. Okay, the charity is still getting the money. Like that's my opinion on it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to see that, but I'm not as happy to see people who are lacking empathy for those who did lose their homes because they came from wealthier circumstances. And I think that it's disheartening that when people reach a level of success and wealth, that people as a whole tend to not have empathy and compassion for them, right? Because you see a lot of people saying, like, oh, well, they have the money to buy another home and to relocate, but it's like, that's still their home, like they still have memories in that home, and who knows what was lost. Like, you're thinking of it from a terms of, like, the materialistic sense of, oh, like, well, they don't need a mansion and they don't need a 3-story home, they can just settle for a smaller home. But think about what may have been in that home that was lost. People could have lost their family photos in those fires. People could have lost their family recipes in that house. Like, people have invaluable items in their home homes and also memories. Like, imagine you have been living in this house for however many years, you've been raising your family or whatever the case may be. Like, you've been growing your family, and shoot, even if you live by yourself, like, you've been creating memories. Like, that is your home. And just in the blink of an eye, for something that was completely outside of your control, all of that is gone, and now you have to start over. That would be hard for anybody. I don't care how much money you have. Like, it's not going to be the same, because that's not your home. You have to start over from scratch. And again, there's so many things that could be lost in a fire. And so, I don't really like people who are almost shaming people for being upset, because they're looking at it just from like a money perspective and not like an empathy perspective of like, hey, this person lost their home. So regardless of whatever, like celebrity or not, wealthy or not, like, I feel for everybody who lost, items or lost people. And, it was just really, really tragic. Like, I saw people too, like, some people lost their pets. And, that was also a whole thing of like people feeling as though folks were leaving their pets at home on purpose. And, although there are some messed up people in this world, I would argue that most people wouldn't just leave their pets at home on purpose. I'm pretty sure that if it got that bad, it wasn't their choice per se. Like, it wasn't, some people, when they're in a situation like that, it's like, okay, do I risk my life to save my pet, or do I save my family to save my pet? Like, sometimes you're just in that situation, and I'm not gonna judge either way, and I also don't think that you should put that judgment on them, because I can imagine, again, how heavy of a loss that is, how hard of a decision that is to have to make. You shouldn't even have to make that decision either, right? And so, again, my love to everybody out there that is dealing with this. And, it's crazy because, like, you have the fires happening in Los Angeles, California, and then on the East Coast, we are in a frozen tundra. It seems like the snow literally came out of nowhere. Like, it was so crazy, right? Because like the days leading up to it snowing, there was nothing on the forecast that suggested that we were gonna get snow. Like, there was nothing that was saying like, okay, like, you may get some snow and some little, like, no, like, it literally was like, not to mention that a week before, it was low-key a little bit warm outside. Like, it was like 50s, 60s. It wasn't giving, we're in January, we're in winter. And it just seemed like out the blue, it snowed not once but twice. And this second go round, not only did it snow, but then it's like, in some areas there was a lot of ice on the ground, so like a lot of icy conditions as well that people had to deal with. And in the midst of that, and I'm not privy to all of the areas that may have been affected in this way, but I know that Richmond, Virginia right now is going through it. So in the midst of, again, the East Coast getting snow, Richmond got hit with a water shortage because of it. Like, they currently right now, they don't have access to water, and I don't know if electricity is also not available to people as well. I'm actually going to do like a quick Google search to see like what exactly is happening with the water. Okay, so actually, as I am filming this right now, as of 2 hours ago, it says that the boil water advisory lifted in city of Richmond. So I think they're good now. The water is now deemed safe to drink. Okay, so they now have access to safe drinking water, but they didn't for like a couple of days, I heard. And again, that's crazy, because what I was going to say earlier in regards to like natural disasters hitting certain areas is that typically if a natural disaster or, again, just something happens, right, it's typically the bigger cities that get priority in terms of, again, getting resources and funding from the government to help them get back on their feet. And then it's typically the smaller towns and the smaller cities, or if we're being real, the lower income in the minority based areas that don't get access to that type of help and support. But Richmond is typically like, it quite literally is like the capital of Virginia. So I'm shocked that they went several days, in those conditions. But, again, it's just, I feel for everybody right now. But it's just so crazy how, again, you have the fires on the West Coast. It's frozen on the East Coast. There's a lot happening with the weather and the climate right now. And it's just, it's very scary, very alarming. I hope that in the coming weeks, we can kind of get back to like like a normalcy, but who knows, because again, the climate right now is in a very weird spot, you know, like again, the past couple of years it's been very up and down, and it's been very abnormal. Like we have literally had warm Decembers, and we've had, and I'm speaking from the perspective of being on the East Coast and living in Virginia primarily. I mean, now I'm in North Carolina, but it's not that far. But you know, we've had like warm Decembers, and we've gone like a full winter without snow before, or sometimes it won't snow until March when it's about to be springtime. Like we've experienced a lot of weird stuff, and I believe that last year was the hottest summer recorded ever, like across the globe. And this stuff is making me really nervous, because I'm like, okay, if it's, you know, this extreme now, what's gonna happen next summer? Like, is next summer gonna start earlier? If it's gonna be even hotter than last summer, which I'm gonna be honest with y'all, because I got sunburnt last summer. And in all of my years of being on this earth, and I'm not joking when I say this, out of all of my years of being on this earth, I had never gotten sunburned. Even as a kid, when I used to be outside all the time. And also, I'm also not the best at keeping sunscreen on myself either. Like, I've never been good at making sure that I put on proper sunscreen and protection before I go outside, and still never ever got sunburned. Last summer, I got sunburned so bad, it did not wear off until the winter time. I'm not joking. I had sunburn like here for months. It just went away. And I got sunburned in June, I believe. Yeah, it was June that I got sunburned. It literally didn't start going away until like November. Like, I'm not even joking. It was so bad. And so if it's even hotter than that next summer, because already I'm like, I don't want to go outside because it's too cold. And I'm waiting for it to get warmer outside so I can start like doing more stuff and, you know, getting out of here more often. But if it's going to be hot like that, I don't know, y'all. I don't know, y'all. I'm really, really worried about the weather. I am a little concerned about where this year is going, because this year has already started off on just an intense energy. There's a lot of stuff going on where I'm like, whoa. And I've seen some of the conspiracy theorists out there, and some of the spiritual girlies and the astrology girlies. I've been seeing a lot of people predicting that 2025 is arguably going to be worse than 2024. Like, I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, 2024 was just the beginning of what's to come, and we're going to be seeing a lot of things come to light. We're going to be seeing a lot of things being dismantled, and we're going to be hit with some really hard truths about just the world and society and what's to come. And so, you know, again, I don't want to hop into the conspiracies in regards to the fires, because I mean, it's, you know, again, like people's belongings were lost, people's lives might have been lost, people's livelihoods were destroyed, right? So I don't want to sit here and, you know, dive too deep into that. But even in me seeing that, again, this happened in a very rich, wealthy area with celebrities, and even seeing that Disneyland, I forget if it's Disneyland or Disney World, I forget which one is in Florida and which one is in California. As you can tell, I've never been to either. But just seeing how like the Disney park there was said to be like at risk of being hit with the fire. People were saying that the Hollywood sign was surrounded in smoke. I'm like, there are some implications there. Again, I don't want to jump into conspiracy theories too much, but I don't know, y'all. This year is already starting off very, very intense. So, but yeah, again, you know, I just send my love to anyone out there that is going through it in this time, whether it be among the fires or among the snow, like wherever you are right now. It seems like the middle of the map is chilling. But, you know, if you are on the West Coast, or more in particular, if you're in that Los Angeles area, you know, please just stay safe. Even if you're not necessarily in the evacuation area, just stay on high alert, stay prepared, you know, just prepare yourself as best as you can just in case something happens. And if you are on the East Coast, stay warm, stay safe as well. And hopefully this year starts to let up a little bit, because this has just been crazy. But yeah, those are all my thoughts for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumb up, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if you guys have any more topics you guys want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below, and also fill out my form to let me know any topics you guys want me to cover on the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.